if you are a brand new one-wheeler, you just got it. Like our friend here getting a GT, going to hop on it the first time. We're not going to give you any unboxing tips. We're going to give you tips on how to ride your one wheel. Okay? Lil, do you remember when you got on a one wheel for the first time?
Yes.
What was the scariest part?
Being imbalanced.
Being imbalanced.
Imbalanced.
Okay. Being unbalanced, that is one of the scary things. Holly, you are still new. You're the longest newbie I know on a one wheel. It's been like for 5 years you've been a noob.
In those 5 years, I've had 2 children.
Oh, here we go. These are excuses.
Tell us more.
No,
Tell us. Give us a list of accolades/excuses.
I have already explained. There's a confidence when I am on straight, smooth pavement. You put me on grass, freaks me out every time. I don't know if pads. We had a friend over here earlier this week, and she like padded up knees, elbows, wrist. She forgot a helmet, but then she went and got one. So that's all good.
She is riding today, practicing more.
Yeah, like she was like
awesome.
ready to go. Maybe that would help me. I don't know. It's the toe side to back side. I just have never been very good at it, even when you've tried to take me snowboarding.
Okay. So we used Holly to kind of teach on how to ride. But Holly, in your newbiness, what was one of the first things that freaked you out besides grass? Because seriously,
Oh man,
it's grass. Like if you fall in grass, what's the worst going to happen?
I guess I don't know. Maybe nothing major. I think figuring out how to balance like up, like how to. Like,
okay, so
how to get it going.
Both of you are saying the same problem, the balancing factor. So if you're new to one-wheeling, we're going to use our little mini one-wheel kits that we have here. This is a expired XR. They don't make them anymore. That's why we're saying expired. So you get your one wheel and it starts like this. You got to bring it up to balancing, but you're not balancing. They're not talking about this front side to back side business of the board. It's the toe side and heel side of your body because you have to balance back and forth. The board does this side, front or left or right on its own. So how do you do that? Okay, so here's your first hint. You're just unboxing your one wheel. You're going to want to charge it because they all come about 30% charged. Go ride for a second, but get it fully charged, and this is what you need to do. And we have video footage of this. You need to find something to hold on. We suggest car mirrors because you are not going to put a bunch of weight on that mirror. I think we have footage to illustrate this if we can hit that.
But you might.
See, here, Holly's going to demonstrate. Hold on to the mirror because you're not going to put all your weight on it, and then you get forward, and then what it's going to do is allow you to compensate your weight to the board scenario. And so that's our first suggestion. Find something to hold on to. Kathy French, Kathy French is not, she wasn't just born yesterday.
She's young at heart.
She's young at heart, but seasoned veteran of one-wheeling.
She just said what she's fearful of is falling.
But I held on to her. She rode in a carpeted surface. She was in a huge basement of a church in Austin, Texas. And I held her hand as we went around this massive room, and she rode it superbly, but holding my hands, and she could ride well. She didn't worry about the balancing now. She could just worry about, how do I make this thing move forward? How do I not fall off of it? So I suggest all of you, find something to put your weight on. Find something to hold your hand. Even we have footage of Lily with the first time she really rode and it was in snow and ice. You held some stranger's hand. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
How was that? It worked, right?
It was fine. Yeah.
Okay.
It worked.
Thanks for more input. And then it was just fine.
No, I mean,
you have nothing more to add.
He's the one who brought the one wheel, so I trusted him. I
was hoping you'd add into, holding somebody's hand, make it really easy. No.
Well, having someone with you, guiding you, is easy in many different parts of life, so including one wheel riding.
Okay. There's a lot. We could go off on another tangent, but we're not. So have somebody help you. That's number one. Two, when you're gonna go riding, where do you look? Everybody wants to look where, Lily, first? Where's everybody looking? Let's
down.
Down.
This is game changer.
Okay.
Pay attention to this.
Everyone looks down at your feet because you think the more I focus on my feet, I'm not going to fall. Here's the deal. This is a life principle as well. This isn't just one-wheeling. So if you came here for just one-wheeling, here's your life principle. Look ahead. Look where you're going to go, not where you are. Look where you're going, not where you are. Again, we're trying to teach Holly this all the time. And my kids, hey, stop looking at your feet. They're not falling off, okay? You're going to be on the board. Look forward. So maybe you're struggling with wobbling and stuff. We're going to get to that in a second. But it will eliminate some of the wobble if you look forward. We got footage where Holly is just looking forward on the one wheel so that you can see her move down the street because she's focused on the street side of things. And so focus on, like, I stood in front of her and pointed, look at me, and see now she's riding very stable. She's not wobbling, and she can...
Go, Holly.
Holly's doing it. She said that's one of her favorite looks.
On
as
my
well.
that one wheel's so cute.
That one wheel now is a growler.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just, that's what happened with it. Goodbye. Dismantled it. You didn't ride it enough, so it became a growler, which those are so much
I
fun.
was pregnant. You and I decided I wouldn't
You were
ride.
pregnant there in that video?
No.
Oh.
No, I'll only ride when I wasn't pregnant.
Right.
So I haven't had the practice. No excuse. I'm not pregnant now. I can go practice.
I haven't been pregnant for almost 3 years.
Yes,
Okay.
true.
It's crazy to think
Let's
about.
applaud that. Let's just seriously.
Oh my gosh.
Our
She
little
could be
one
pregnant
turns
right now,
3.
but for right now, 3 years.
We don't know. We don't know.
Okay, so I
Wow.
like what OPAL says. Oh, wait, no. Talking about look down. Somebody look down, look ahead about 7 feet. Here you go. It's IC one-wheeler bros. 7 feet ahead while quick glancing in front of you. Yep, that's about it. Look 7 feet ahead, not down. I know somebody's going to ask, I'm a beginner. I'm thinking about buying a board. What board should I learn on? Whatever board. It doesn't matter. Just get on one wheel. They're all about the same idea. Some upgraded technologies in the newer stuff, but still, you're trying to figure out how to go forward, and you're trying to now conquer the speed wobble. Lily, anything to teach a new beginner on the wobbles? And please drop comments what's worked for you, because people are going to want to know, because they're tuning in and going, okay, I just got a GT, but I cannot get past the wobbles. Is
The
there
wobble.
any? Yeah, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I
What's
would
that?
say find some flat ground. If you're not already on flat ground, why are you not? And then I would say relax, take a deep breath. And then I would say try to like widen your feet and your shoes so that you're like firmly planted, and also feel the weight in your heels and your toes so that you're not like too much on one side, too much on the other. And then again, if you have someone else to help you, that should help the wobble too, and bend your knees.
If you live in an apartment complex, this is genius. I read it, and then it's Kyle. Kyle says, I think it was Kyle that wrote it. Mm-hmm. He said he lives in an apartment complex, and what he did is he went into the hallway and used both walls to stable himself. That's genius.
Yeah, I did
great
that
idea.
so that I don't have to carry my one wheel.
Yeah, that's genius. Like, I have rode in, I've never been in an apartment complex with my one wheel, but I have been in hotels, and it is so much fun to just fly down the hallways on carpet. Riding one wheels on carpet is so awesome. Right there in the awesomeness of golf courses. Just so you know, golf courses are pristine. Get permission to do it. Every video we've ever rode on golf course is either it's closed for the season, so we're not ruining it, or we have permission to film there. Just side note for everyone that says, "You right, we do. We check this." Okay, speed wobble's a thing. It usually means you're going too fast for the ability that you actually possess at the moment. It means you need to strengthen your ankles and knees. Sometimes bending your knees is a lot of a necessary thing. A lot of you need to do is stop riding it like you're just this unbendable object. A little bit of bend in the knees, that becomes the shock. Then it's not as rigid. So when you hit something that makes you bounce, you can absorb it a little bit. When you're just this rigid person, you're going to fly off your one wheel.
I think I ride stiff a lot.
Absolutely. Like, go back to that footage. Are you kidding me?
I
Let's
don't
roll
really
that
know how
footage.
to bend my
Look at
knees.
yourself. There is no bend in your knees at all. You are a stiff board. Put some bend in there and you'll be all right.
Maybe that's how you get the workout.
Maybe.
You bend at the knees.
Bend the knees. You'll feel it in your thighs for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, how about the dismounting? This is always fun. Go back to where you started. Practice dismounting, holding onto a car mirror if you're outside. If you're like the good old man we just read about in the apartment complex, grab the wall. You got to come to a stop and lift your heel. A lot of people, like, you just jump off, like my kids. They just jump off at a moving object, like both feet. And then they wonder why they eat the dirt all the time. That's not exactly the best way to do it. Coming to a pause and then lift you're going to see how they do it here. She's holding on the mirror of what we call the moose. She's going to lift her heel of her front foot, and then it shuts off and goes down. Simple as that. Now, you can have simple stop turned on. I do find simple stop a little frustrating for me because I want to go forward and backwards. And you lose some of that backward sensation at lower speeds. It'll just shut off, and that's just frustrating to me. So I always shut simple stop off. Always lift the back heel. Boom. Get good at that. Because, my gosh, this is where people put their weight going forward and activate the front sensor, and the one wheel spins out, and it's just a hot mess. Just stop being a hot mess. That's it. Stop being a hot mess. That's what we're trying to say.
That's not easy to do.
Not easy to do to not be a hot mess, Lil.
Yeah, like just stop. You're just telling, just stop being a hot mess.
Yeah, stop being a hot mess. Like, we're just trying to say, don't be a hot mess. We're trying to help all of you become better at one wheeling. The other thing is foot fatigue. People are always talking about that. That's some of those things that you got to deal with first off. It just happens to everybody. It happens a lot of times when I change my tires to a harder compound. Then I get a little bit of fatigue till I get in shape, in a sense, to feel that the new feeling of the one wheel. The biggest thing you can do for your one-wheeling experience when you get foot fatigue is to carve. Carving will ease the blood flow to your feet so that your feet don't fall asleep and then you don't have that pain and need to get off your one wheel. Nothing like being on a long group ride and having to stop because you can't feel your feet. You got to learn to carve. I think that's very intuitive to carve, but I come from a snowboarding background and I love to longboard and all those things. If you don't know how to carve, you got to get used to leaning back and leaning toe side. Leaning back is going to really help you be able to turn the thing around. You don't want to be the individual that you have to stop your board and turn your board around. Look at this. This is historic carving. This is me showing you this. The carving is where you really get to feel the floating sensation that I believe One Wheel is intending for all of us to have, is in that carving sensation.
Look at her go.
And it comes at the ankles, not your hips. And so that's why it helps foot fatigue as you learn how to carve.
You told me that like early on it was probably later on in this video or something or another time to carve a little bit. And it doesn't have to be, I kept thinking when you were saying carving that it had to be like a severe turn, back and forth, left and right. But even just a slight learning how to carve relieves that foot fatigue. So when we would go on family rides and stuff, even just a little bit of the carving, just to take some pressure off of the heels and then off the toes, helps tremendously.
For those that are still in the chat, I see a lot of you giving your input on it. We love seeing that in the live portion of the podcast today. All of your words and how you're fighting foot fatigue or you're learning to do the stopping of the heel lift. I can't stress it hard enough. Turn off simple stop as fast as you can and get to the stopping with heel lift. It will open up a new world for you. It will help you in so many things. When you get down to city riding and you're at a stoplight and you're trying to just stay on your board so you can go as soon as it turns green, but your board shuts off and it becomes this awkward moment, it just eliminates all of those things if you learn how to stop by lifting your foot. Then we can get to some of the other complicated things.
Yeah, you could just jump off.
Where you could jump off both feet, are you saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get people not to do.
Oh.
I think, because I don't have footage of it. I should have, some of my kids do that. Jumping off with both feet, then all of a sudden you have your one wheel that's still moving.
Potentially,
And if you're in a group ride, that's gonna hit somebody. It's not, don't do it.
What about a hard stop?
Hard stop, that's the next step, but we aren't going to teach that today.
That's like a trick.
That's not a trick.
Holly, I used to think that was a trick until I started doing these wooden things that we have in the trails. I don't know what to call them. Wooden things.
Features.
The features. Those are tricks.
No, those are
I
not
am
tricks
officially
either.
a trick rider.
That's not a trick.
What
That's
is
just
it?
riding off-road and trails, you girls.
No
Come on.
way.
You do tricks now,
They're
Lil?
obstacles.
They're features. No, they're not obstacles.
Well,
They're
impressive.
features.
Lily's a trick rider.
When you ride in trails and there's wooden obstacles, we call those features. They're not. It's like you're riding that trail system because of the features that are featured. I do want to say a big thanks to everybody that watches every week on our YouTube channel, our podcast, or you listen to it. Without you, what would be the point? It would be just us hanging out in here doing nothing, Subscribe to the channel as we try to pump out as much one wheel content.